As a leader, you're negotiating every single day, whether it's securing budget or navigating a conflict or getting buy-in from your own team. What if I told you that you can improve your methods by learning from FBI and how they save lives? In today's video, we're gonna go through one of my favorite authors of all time, Voss, and his book, Never Split the Difference, to get those specific concepts and lessons and apply them to improve leadership. Grab a notebook. Today's session is going to be packed with actionable strategies that you want to write down. Tactical empathy, the secret to difficult conversations. One of the biggest myths when it comes to leadership is that as leaders, you have to have all the answers. But Voss introduces something even better, tactical empathy. This isn't about agreeing with everyone. It's about showing people that you truly understand how they feel. And the magic is that when people feel heard, their guard drops and collaboration skyrockets. So think about this. You have one-on-one with someone from your team and they're already stressed out, the work has been heavy, and you just drop some new information on them that the timelines has now shifted to an earlier timelines, and they just become very overwhelmed and agitated. So you can tell them that we have to just push through harder, which is sometimes that's the reality of the projects, but that's not going to help them, does it? Instead of saying that and just make that whole situation so much worse, you can tell them in a calm tone that it sounds like you're feeling overwhelmed by these new timelines. And then pause and really genuinely listen to what they have to say. And then after they talked about their feelings and their concerns, then I start solutioning together. But that labeling emotions is really gonna drop their guards and make them also to feel less overwhelmed. Here's a quick framework I use. Label the emotion. Start with it seems like, it sounds like. Pause and really genuinely listen. Respond with empathy first, solutions second. Leaders who practice tactical empathy build much stronger teams because they build trust. And you need that trust as a leader, especially during tough times. Mirroring builds instant rapport and influence. Now, tactical empathy is amazing, but another powerful tool that you can use is mirroring. And no, I don't mean just copying somebody's body language. What I talk about when it comes to mirroring is listening to someone and then repeat the last 1 to 3 words that they just said. It sounds really easy, right? But the catch is, it makes people feel that you're actually genuinely listening to them, and then it helps them to open up and start having a really honest conversation with you. Now, here's an example. Let's say someone's coming to you, you're having a one-on-one, and you right away see that they're stressed out. And then you ask about their project that they're leading, you ask about the project status update, and they become really agitated, and they say, we're stuck because we don't have enough resources. Now, most of us leaders, are guilty of trying to help right away, jumping to solutioning, let me move resources to your project or whatever else is the solution. Don't do that. Instead, again, with a calm tone, repeat the last 1 to 3 words that they say. So in this case, you can say limited resources and then pause, count to 4. They're going to start talking. They're going to give you so much more information. Yeah, we don't have enough testers and our systems keep crashing. Our systems keep crashing, and you can continue this game for a good while. This gives you a lot of information and data. It shows that you're listening, and obviously you have to be genuine. You can't fake these type of things. You actually need to genuinely be curious about what is the problem and to gain more information and data before you want to jump to solutioning. And that just helps not only calm the situation, build the trust, but also then you can provide a much better solution because you have way more data and details. So here's your mini framework. Mirror the last keywords. Pause, let them feel the silence. Leaders who mirror build instant rapport, uncover hidden issue, and most importantly for a leader, they build psychological safety, which you have to be able to build a high-performing team. The power of no. Protect your team and priorities. This next one really changed my career. The power of no. most of us feel that if we say no to a project coming our way, that means that, or that shows that we're not capable. It also shows as if we're rejecting our manager. So it's really a difficult thing to do and to learn. And I'm not recommending it to do it if you're new in the team. If you don't know your manager, you need to have that trust and relationship built already with your manager before I start saying no. And you have to be very mindful that you can't just say no to everything, of course. So this one is a little bit, has a lot of gray area that you need to be mindful about. But in general, when you say no, that actually makes you a much more impactful leader. It helps you and your team to not burn out because you can't continue saying yes to every project that comes your way. So imagine this. Next time when your manager comes your way and ups another urgent project on you, instead of just saying yes, especially if the team is already really overwhelmed when it comes with their work priorities, you can, in a very respectful way, mention that currently our workload is full. To be able to take this one on, which project do you suggest that we deprioritize? So you don't also say no in a very hard way. You say kind of yes, that you're going to do all of it. It's just about matter of priority, that which one should be prioritized first. This framework is simple. Make no safe. Use it to clarify priorities. Then turn that no into a yes for what really matters. Leaders who use no wisely not only protect their teams and themselves from burning out, they also help the team to focus on what really matters, and they earn respect of not only their team, but also their senior leadership. Calibrated questions. Influence without authority. Now, we've gone through all of those good works that we just talked about, but this one is my favorite. Calibrated question. I don't think it makes sense or it works really to have a high-performing team these days if you want to have that rigid hierarchy when I'm the boss and I'm going to tell you what to do and I'm going to demand you what to do with the timeline that I'm asking of you. I think if you switch instead to calibrated questions and ask the teams about how and what, and I'm curious, those type of sentences, then it helps the team to guide through the vision that you have and come up with the solutions, but also it makes them to feel heard. It makes them to feel pride of coming up with a solution and also to own something. So next time when the teams come to you and they're struggling with meeting the timeline and they're pushing back and they're just not happy, instead of telling them that, oh, we should just push harder and let's work overtime, you can ask them, how can we make these timelines? Or what are some of the things that we can shift around to be able to make timelines? But you kind of ask the question of them and they start coming up with really amazing creative solutions that will help the problem, but also just help the whole team to be collaborative and move forward towards the deadline, but in a much better mood and spirit than, oh, I'm forced to do that, I'm going to lose my job if I don't do that, and therefore I'm just going to do something bare minimum to make sure that I'm meeting the timelines. Here's the framework. Start with how or what. Make it open-ended. Let them build the solution. This is called influence without authority. And in today's world, when often as leaders, we have to also influence other teams and other stakeholders without having really a true power over them, when you learn this, how to communicate with your own team, and you practice it that way, it becomes such a game changer for your relationship across departments as well. Black Swan moments. Spot the game changers. Finally, let's talk about Black Swan moments, which is so valuable in leadership. Black Swan is really means those hidden informations that are not being said. So you need to really pay attention if you have a superstar as an example that all of a sudden becoming disengaged. The issues might not be related to work whatsoever. It might be something's happening in their personal life. And they're not comfortable to talk about that. So you really want to uncover those hidden information to be able to manage your team much better and stronger. And some of the clues how to help with that is when somebody says something but it doesn't match their body language, when somebody who usually is someone who, engages and talk in the meetings, they're going quiet. Don't ignore those things. Make sure that you have a conversation with that person. And again, in a calm tone, ask them, I've noticed that you're quiet lately in the meetings. What's in your mind? And then pause and let them to talk. And then keep leveraging the other methods that we just talked about, the mirroring, tactical empathy, to get to the bottom of that information, because you want to identify an issue and manage it before it becomes a crisis. Look for incongruence between words and actions. Listen to silence and hesitation. Ask, what am I missing here? Leaders who catch black swan moments are not just managing tasks, they're leading people. And that's what sets them apart. And if you're navigating with tricky office politics and you just don't know how to play the game, watch my next video on 8 actionable strategies on how to improve your leadership, including how to play office politics the positive way. Thanks for watching. Till next time.